How about that? Hey everyone, Prodigal Programmer here. Welcome to the first edition of cloning landing pages from other websites. Well, very well. This is going to be where I pick a website out of random and take the elements and kind of effects and different things that they've put in that website and try to build that for myself and my portfolio and maybe your portfolio. You can follow along with me on the screen. I'm going to bring that up in a moment. So let's move on to the next step, which is downloading a text editor for us to manipulate our style sheets, which is CSS, and our index HTML file, which is going to be the home page where we build everything and bring it all together. Just to let you know, the HTML file, HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, it's not really a programming language. It's a very simple, basic program that allows you to build elements onto a page. So this is where you add things like buttons. Everything that you see with your eyes on a web page would be on an HTML file. Whereas the CSS is where we manipulate those elements from the HTML file and we change the color of them. We can change the text and the font, the size of things like buttons and stuff like that. That's all through CSS. There's also JavaScript, which is a programming language. They feature heavily on websites too, but I don't know any yet, so we're not going to be going through that. If you see any really cool movements on the website that we're going to be building, then that's going to be JavaScript, and no, we're not going there right now. So, okay, so to edit this text, we're going to need a text editor. My preference is VS Code. It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy to use, and it's free. You can download it for Mac and Windows, so I'll leave a link somewhere where you can download it. And on top of that, I think you should also download an extension for VS Code called Live Server. Very good. This allows you to use your HTML file, have it open on a browser, and every change that you make on the HTML file and press save, instantly the changes on the browser take effect. So I could change a header from a black color to a red color, press save, and instantly that changes on the browser. So you can kind of work with what you're doing and see the changes instantly. It's kind of why I like web development. You know, it's instant gratification. You learn something and you can instantly see it work, or most probably not work. It's much harder to download that one, but it's very safe. Over 25 million people have downloaded it. So there's instructional videos on how to use it, how to download it, how to make it safe for your computer. If you do it right, nothing should happen to your laptop or computer. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna pick a website. Side note, I've already picked one. You might see images coming up of websites that I could have chose. They were either too hard or too easy. I found something right in the middle, and it's a website that I visit regularly. Just to let you know, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't look at this website and think, oh, he's, making us put our money in investments. I choose to put my money in investments. You don't have to, but you probably should. Anywho, this is the website. Ta-da! It's very nice, very simple, but it has some interesting features. We can see a navigation bar here at the top, a search bar, there's a nice little search there, the logo. Ooh, you can see the colors changing here. And there's also like some little secret features that you can see, some cool things about the website. For example, I noticed here, if I hover over this button, it gets a bit darker. See, the color gets slightly darker. Also, there's a shadow underneath when you hover. That shadow comes up. That's quite cool. And also a caption if you hover over it long enough. So it's not massive. Some of the websites I was looking at, I think I was almost going to do the IMDb website. That's the Internet Movie Database .com, which is also frequently visited by me. But yeah, it was just too long. It just had so many movies on there, and it just went on and on and on. This is not very long. I think we should be able to do this in a month, you know. There's not a lot of different colors, even though that's not hard to manipulate. But I like it. It's a very solid design. And it's about serious stuff, you know. It's not a kids website. It's not a tech website. It's just simply about investing. So all ages are visiting this website, and that's what this video is for, all ages. Okay, so now we are going to use Visual Studio Code for the first time. Let's have some fun. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to open a folder in VS Code. It's quite colorful, isn't it? This is a theme, by the way, and I'll introduce you to themes coming up. Actually, you know what? I should probably introduce you to these kind of things now. Here we go. These are extensions, and I'll show you the extensions that I have. So here I've got Tokyo Night, which is a theme. I think I'm using this one. Yeah, this is Tokyo Night. It's quite simple, but basically it highlights in different colors the types of code that you're using. So these red items are tags, highlighted red. So every time you come into VS Code and use tags, they'll always be red, so you know what they are. I'm not sure what these are actually called. Attributes. So attributes are always purple, and it looks like links are always green. Cool. So you'll see certain themes highlight different colors for different things. Quite important, and it just helps you see things easier in case there might be some mistakes. That's problematic. We have Prettier, which is a code formatter. That is what is making these tags look very clean and orderly. And you can see, for example, this tag has this UL tag inside it, and that's why it's indented a bit. So this UL tag is inside the div tag, and so on and so forth. This li tag is inside the UL, which is inside the div, which is inside the section, which is inside the body. And that's why they're all indented in certain ways. It just makes it easier to read. I think this is called refactoring code, which is basically just making your code look pretty. So when other people maybe edit your code or look at it for themselves, they're able to read it easier than they would be otherwise. We have the auto rename tag extension, which is, what does that do? Okay, so if I was to change this li, I hope this works, so I'm going to be very embarrassed. If I change this into ol, aha, you see the end tag also changed. So I just have to change the first one, and the other one also changes. Sorry, LI, not L1. Okay, cool. Wasn't embarrassed. Yay. Now we have the auto close tag, which is when you type a tag. Let's use one here. After this section, I'm going to type H1. Well, let me actually do the tag. So H1. And then close the tag. And you see instantly it closes it for me. It gives me the ending tag. I didn't have to type that, as you can see. And every time generally you end the tag, it's good to have this / before the tag element name, just to show that it's the closed version. You can see here, for example, the body at the top, it just says body, but at the end it's got / body, which means that's the end of that tag. Cool. And the last extension that is not showing up here for some reason is called emit. Very important. This one's probably good. Which is the one that I installed? I don't know why it's not showing up. But basically, emit is the extension that allows me to type something, D for example, and you can see a whole bunch of different options for me to choose. It's trying to guess what I want to type, and all I have to do is choose one and press tab. There we go. Very helpful, very quick, helps you build your website very fast. So I recommend you download that too. Anyway, let's go to how we're gonna open our HTML file and our CSS file. So I'm gonna come off extensions, I'm gonna go to Explorer, and currently we're on a folder called nvidia.com. This is a website I tried to clone. I didn't finish it, but I did pretty well, to be fair. I learned a lot there. We're gonna open our own folder now. So let's go into Finder. Ta-da. I'm gonna create a new Finder. Oh, I'm being called. Give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. My girlfriend was calling me. Let's go back to, where was I? I'm gonna save my folder into IT documents. You can save it wherever you would like to. Prodigal Programmer. These are my 2 previous projects. I'm gonna open a new folder here and call it Vanguard. And inside that folder, just like my other 2 projects, let me show you. For example, I have an index.html file and a style sheet called stylee. So let me create my images folder first. I like to create a folder for my images because it's cleaner. If I have images just sprawled out all over my Vanguard folder, it doesn't look very pretty. It's quite hard to find, and they might be images, they might be GIFs, they might be a whole bunch of other stuff. So I have a folder for my images. Right. So now that I've created this folder, I'm going to choose File, Open Folder. I'm already in Prodigal Programmer, which is cool, and I'll select Vanguard here. Now it's going to open up whatever's in the Vanguard folder, which is nothing. You see the folder images here. Right, so I'm going to create a new file in this folder, and I'm going to call it, guess what, index.html. I don't know why they call it index. Maybe as it's the homepage, index, like your, I don't know, you can find everything from the index. That sounds smart. Created. I'm also going to do a style sheet file, and you'll see that the logo changed. This is to differentiate what these files are. So this is a CSS file and this is a HTML file. Did I say that HTML stands for hypertext markup language? Well, now you know. Okay, so now that I have my index file, if I go back to the Finder, you'll see that these have been created in the Vanguard folder. Right, now, this is why I said Emmet was very important to download, because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of lingo that you need to create an HTML file. You need the HTML tag, you need the head tag, and you need the body tag. And I could type all of these quickly, but there's also a few other things that you can type. The fastest way is to type exclamation mark. Oh, I'm in style sheet. Right, I need to be in index.html. So exclamation mark, and you'll see Emmet brings up what I might need, which is this little abbreviation here. Press tab, and it assumes this is what you want. This is the kind of stuff I was talking about. I don't know what any of this means. I think you can kind of play with what you want the width and the scale of the website, of the landing page to look like. But we want our width to be whatever the device width is, and our web page will conform to the device width. So that's cool. And then we have the title here, which is within the head tag. Now the head tag is what you can't see on the web page. All of these stuff you will not be able to see on the web page. It's all like background stuff. But the body is all the things you will see on the actual web page. And I'll demonstrate that in a bit. The title is what you see when you go on a website. Oh, it's not open. Let's open that. Again, we're going to go to Vanguard. My little tab, Investation. Do you get it? Not infestation, investation. Investation of money. Anyway, so if I now open another tab, you can see here's the title of the Vanguard homepage website. Pretty long. This is probably the longest the longest title I've ever seen on a web page. Amateurs, huh? And then they have their little V logo here. So I think we might be able to add that as well, but we'll have to learn how to do that because I don't know. So anyway, yeah, at the moment it's just called document, and I'll show you how that looks, because now that you should have downloaded the Live Server app, the Live Server extension, I can open the terminal. Okay, luckily my terminal is already pointing to the Vanguard. Oh, actually no, it's pointing to the Vanguard folder because that's when I pressed open folder. If I was to now open a different folder, so for example back to NVIDIA or Stone's Throw, if I pressed open now, it would point to Stone's Throw and open the index file in that folder. Okay, so if I now press Live Server, type, I can't press Live Server, does this little calculations, tries to find the website, and here we find a blank page. That's what I'm looking for, because we have not put anything on yet. But you can see here in the title, document, and that's exactly what we have on our VS Code. So now if I just said Vanguard, then I go back, it's now changed to Vanguard. Yay! First little piece of code. we'll leave that there for now. Now we're going to link our style sheet to this HTML file. So we need to do this in our head. I'll just open up a little space, a line here. If you do it in the body, it won't work because the body is only for physical elements in the page, and the style sheet is not an element in the page. It functions for the page. So we want that in the head, and we just simply type link. I could open it like this and type it, do the long kind of thing, but for easy sake, I'm just going to type link and press tab, and it gives me everything that I need for a link tab. So here rel stands for relevance. The relevance for this link tab is the style sheet, and this is href. I can't remember what the H stands for, but ref is reference, maybe hypertext reference. Anyway, it's a link. So we are going to reference our style sheet, and we can simply just start with S. It comes up, that's very nice. The reason why it comes up straight away is because we're already in the Vanguard folder. So it's basically just looking for anything with any file starting with S, and it found style sheet. Now the reason why, if I type it shows images. It is not supposed to happen, I guess. It has images with a / because it's a folder and not a file. So if I was to press tab now, I'm inside the images folder at the moment, and then I can look for whatever image I'm trying to find, but at the moment the folder is empty, so I won't be able to find anything. Doesn't matter because I want my style sheet. There we go. I'm going to save it, Command S or Control S if you're on Windows. I'm on Mac, by the way, did I mention that? And it should be linked. But we need to test it. That's what we're here for, testers. We're testers. At the moment, there's nothing that I can see on my website because there's nothing in the body. And the body is what shows everything that comes up. So let's get a bit baked. I'm gonna put in an H1 tag, which is a heading, the biggest heading. There is H1 to H6. I'm gonna use H1 as the largest one, and I'm gonna use hello world with an exclamation mark. That's the most basic type of code you can use, they say. So now that's saved, and you can see every time I press save, it says change detected and where it's been changed. So if I now go over to my website, there we go, hello world comes up. This is on the HTML, so it doesn't actually show that the CSS file has been linked. So let's go to CSS, and we're gonna type in body to choose our element, and we're gonna choose a squiggly bracket, also called a braces. I looked that up. And I want the background color of the body to be blue violet. I like purple. Save that. And look, now you can see it says CSS change detected instead of just change detected. So now something's changed on the CSS file. Hopefully it's linked, and there we go. We can see that it's changed to purple or blue violet. So that's the first step. We've opened our, let's do a rundown. We've downloaded VS Code and all the little tidbits. We have made a folder for our project. We have linked our CSS file to our HTML file. So every change that we make in VS Code will affect both of these files, and we're ready to go. Join me on the next episode for a rundown of HTML and CSS and kind of what that entails, and also getting started on how to roam around, swim in the HTML world and swim in the CSS world. There's a lot to learn, but until then, I'll give you a little pointer. Until then, please visit this website, MDN, Mozilla Developer Network, I'm guessing it means. If I got that right, then I'm so cool. You can type basically anything in this search bar regarding HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, which I need to also detail to you one day. And you'll be able to find a lot of information. So if I just put HTML, the first thing we learnt about, you'll see here, hypertext markup language, the most basic building block of the web. I told you. And yeah, very cool. Or href, for example, the element that I didn't know what the H stood for. I now put href. It's the attribute that defines a link to a resource as a reference URL. What does the H stand for though? It doesn't want to tell me. That's great. That's great. But anyway, very, very good website here. The website is developer.mozilla.org. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do? We're gonna go back to VS Code. No, we're gonna end the video here because I don't have time to show you that bit yet. I want to make this nice and simple. I don't want to convolute my videos with too much information. I hope this is not a long video. We'll see when it's published. But yeah, stay tuned for the next episode and we'll get started on how everything works. Goodbye.